It was quite a challenge in the job search. There was limited roles, even at a senior level in product, in particular in FinTech. Why can't I even land the interview or
Mm.
actually convert when a few years ago I was getting like five inbound messages a day on, hey, look, there's a new role. Please join our organization. So it
Mm-hmm.
went from it was a complete shock to me in the system. The actual structure needed for like from TMA to the stories, etc., that helped
Yep.
me polish with feedback from coaches that actually it gave me the opportunity to later on down the line to get 6 to 8 interviews a week and go deep into the interview process. It's definitely an accelerator program that will cut short the time it takes if you were to go alone, give you clear structure and guidance, the right tools, coaches and peers, in order to land that role that you want. Um,
All right. Good afternoon, Akash. Great to see you. First of all, congratulations again on the recent success of the new job. Super excited to celebrate that with you and definitely want to hear more. And I'd love to just ask you a couple of questions about your experience and chat with you about the process and going through the job search. Yeah, and just hear from you firsthand. So I guess as we get started, would you just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get right into it?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sam. So I'm Akash. I'm a product leader with 10 plus years experience in payments and banking. And I've worked across a serious range of companies, from startups to large organizations, including Barclays and Group, where I've built products for B2C and B2B clients across payments and across and digital bank accounts. And now I'm excited to announce that through IGS, I'm now a principal product manager at Convera, which was a ex-Western Union business, and looking to help them build out their payment strategy and their network.
That's awesome. Thank you for talking me through that. I'm going to ask you some questions, just rewinding back to before the IGS program, if you don't mind. So, would you walk us through what life used to look like before you got into the job search? What's an average week look like before we crossed paths, and what were some of the challenges that you were experiencing at the time?
Yeah, sure. It's a really great question. As like the market across ponds from the US to UK was on the downturn. It was quite a challenge in the job search. There was limited roles, even at a senior level in product, in particular in FinTech. And so my day-to-day job search was scrolling through whatever jobs were available, trying to have a conversation with recruiters or hiring managers. And even if I had an interview, really bombing like the screening round or not getting past, not having any detailed feedback and understanding, hang on a minute, I'm a senior leader in product. Why can't I even land the interview or
Mm.
actually convert when a few years ago I was getting like five inbound messages a day on, hey, look, there's a new role. Please join our organization. So it
Mm-hmm.
went from it was a complete shock to me in the system.
Mm. Yeah, I can see that. And was there something specific that caused you to seek out a solution? Like,
Yes. So I did one of the first things I did going back in the job search was I tried to get a coach who helped to like look at my resume, my
mhm.
cover letter, etc., and some interview prep. However, I found that there's three things. The first, that coaching was very generic and wasn't product focused or specific to product.
Mm.
The second
Okay.
was, I think my profile needed to be changed or adjusted. And the third, I think from an interview standpoint, some of the way product interviews were done and conducted had changed over time. And
Mm.
given that it had been a long time um, in employment, I was rusty and didn't know the best way to approach those things. So for me, finding the right program, including a community of peers who were going through similar process, was really valuable to me.
Hmm. Got it. So fast forward a little bit and you found IGS. I'm wondering, what were you thinking? What hesitations did you have? What was your thought process as you were debating the decision?
So for me, I think I found that the program was great. It was more US focused.
Mm.
So one of my reservations was that will this work in the UK, and would
Mm.
they have the
Hmm.
network for like jobs and referrals? However, after speaking to Shopit, I realized product frameworks is universal regardless of the market you're in,
Hmm.
and And for me, I realized as well, like with the senior leaders in from like the FANG companies, etc., even in the UK, that by going through the program, you can really upskill yourself and to become a better product leader as well. So that kind of were the things that could transform my reservation into joining the program, along with
Got
having
it.
the strategy and clarity.
Got it. Okay. So those are some of the things that kind of pushed you over the edge to join. Okay, cool. So now you're in the program, fast forwarding a little bit. And do you recall any like early aha moments or any early insights that you had as you were going through?
Definitely. So I think the first thing was having a clear clarity and strategy. I never used to have one. I just used to go and apply for roles, and then having perspective a bit in terms of, okay, this is the industry I want to focus, which is fintech. This is the type of roles I wanted. This is the work-life balance that I looked for in the total compensation. That gave me that clarity and insight in terms of everything else I was going for. And so I stayed true to fintech, and I stayed true to those type of roles and said no to other things I might have previously said yes to. And I think the second thing I found at aha moments was when I joined the program, I was starting getting interviews. I wasn't ready at the time, but going through the mocks gave me that instant feedback and guidance. And the third was the actual structure needed for like from TMA to the stories, etc., that helped me polish with feedback from coaches. That actually it gave me the opportunity to later on down the line to get 6 to 8 interviews a week and go deep into the interview process.
Good. Wait, did you say 6 to 8 interviews a week?
Yes.
How did you manage that? What role did IPM play in contributing to that?
So there are three things I'd say. So the first was the overall framework in the program. So it's around updating your profile from LinkedIn, your resumes, tailoring that, using making sure you're ready from an interview standpoint, like all the behavioral, your key stories or like frameworks using cue cards to answer those questions in the right way and format. To like the network and outreach, the program itself really makes sure like you go and get 68 referrals every week. Sorry, 2 to 3 referrals every week, but then ensure you're building up a pipeline. For me, it's like, what do I need to do in order to make sure this thing's still coming down? So one was building a pipeline with recruiters, so building those conversations over time. The second was direct outreach to hiring managers. And the third, with little less kind of conversion, but doing direct outreach in applications and then continuing, I would say, in a nice way, bombarding hiring managers in order to have that conversation.
Confident follow-up. Let's call it persistence. And yeah, exactly. Got it. I love that. And with the current gig, like how did the program kind of line up, or how did the interview process you had to go through align with the training that you were going through?
It's a really great question. And so the first thing is because I was going through these processes in order to build up the pipe and going through the interviews. So the first thing was I reached out to a former colleague who did an internal referral into the company. The second was that because I was interview ready, I went straight into hiring manager interviews, and I had for this role I had 3 interviews in 1 week. So I was able to do hiring manager interview, a panel round interview, and another interview all within 3 days. And the panel was very challenging given that it was both product design and behavioral in one go. But because of the coaching and the mentorship and the peer practice I had, I was able to just come out very strongly. And I think one of the other points is from mindset standpoints. So he teaches us how to have a positive mindset, how to approach interviews, and I was able to leverage that in the process as well. And then the final point I would say was negotiation. So not once did I actually talk about compensation through the entire duration of the interview process until right at the end. So
got it. You mentioned mindset, and I know folks are familiar with resumes and interviews and referrals and some of the other terms. I'm curious how does the mindset component play in, and what role what does IJS provide from that perspective that worked for you?
Sure. So I think when you're going through this process, when you're out, you can doubt yourself and your abilities. And you've got to remember that like being a product leader or product manager is different to actually interviewing for a role. And the program helps with providing coaches or frameworks in order to make sure you're the best of yourself. And I think the other thing as well is when you have other peers going through the same challenges that you have, you can share experiences, and then you can motivate each other. And so little things like on Mondays, like your celebrations, what are you celebrating, why, and what are your goals for the week? And those micro celebrations help you reinforce that, look, there's progress coming, even if you haven't landed something.
Got it. Yeah, I'm hearing you say that like process is discouraging and frustrating and can do a number on your confidence, and you felt supported and built a good suite of practices to keep that confidence high, the energy high. And then it's nice to hear that it's also transferring not only out of the job search, but like beyond into like professional life and just with friends and family. That's really cool.
Definitely. And even in my new role now, there's some modules we have like product strategy is coming into like good use. So it continues
awesome.
even when you land your role.
Yeah. Awesome. So how would you describe International Job Search Program in your own words, and who's the program for?
It's definitely an accelerator program that will cut short the time it takes if you were to go alone, give you clear structure and guidance, the right tools, coaches and peers in order to land that role that you want. I'd say it's for anyone looking to do three things. One is to go to the next level in product management. Second is anyone who's lost their way and trying to find that passion in product. And third, anyone who could be out the market to land themselves back into the market quickly.
Awesome. Akash, I really appreciate you just spending a couple minutes with me to chat through your experience. Wishing you all the best in the next role, and stay in touch.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
Thank you.